The challenge of atheism for contemporary believers manifests in several key areas, impacting both personal faith and broader societal dynamics. So much so that in our society, exposure to atheistic perspectives often leads students of modern education to questions uh, uh, that challenge the faith in the existence of God and the meaning of life. This existential challenge can cause doubt and anxiety, promoting a deeper exploration of one's beliefs and potentially leading to a crisis of faith. The problem gets more complex when you talk to such youth on the logical fallacies of their mental position, and in turn, they draw on scientific explanations and philosophical arguments to question religious beliefs. We have also seen that in increasingly secular societies, religious beliefs are marginalized or viewed as outdated. This societal shift tends to create pressure on believing people, leading to conflicts between personal faith and public life. I have personally seen a believing student struggling to find his place and a voice in the environment where atheism or skepticism or even agnosticism is prevalent in his peer group. Similarly, our younger generations, uh, especially in our educational institutions and elsewhere in marketplaces, they are often who are more exposed to secular and atheistic viewpoints through education and media. They question traditional religious teachings. This is our day-to-day experience. So this generational shift can challenge religious communities to find ways to remain relevant and engaging to younger audiences. Overall, the challenge of atheism for contemporary believers involves a complex interplay of intellectual, social, and existential factors that require thoughtful engagement and adaptation to maintain and articulate their faith in rapidly changing world. In this video and many others following it, I intend to discuss this issue in some detail. So here, coming first to defining atheism, although the scholars say that there is not any set definition for atheism, yet we are able to get closer to our understanding and define atheism what it is. So it's defined as the lack of belief in the existence of gods or God. For a monotheistic person, believer, atheism means lack of belief in the existence of the Creator, one Creator, God, who deserves worship. So that means an atheist is a person who flatly denies the existence of God. The term derives actually from the Greek word atheos, which means without gods. This definition encompasses a broad spectrum of views, from the active rejection of the existence of God or gods to a more passive absence of belief. For a Muslim, let us take for granted that atheism is denial of the existence of one true God, the only one God. So atheism stands in contrast to theism, which is the belief in one God, or in other religions in more than one deities. The meaning of atheism varies depending on cultural and philosophical contexts. It can be seen as a rational stance that prioritizes empirical evidence and scientific inquiry over faith and religious dogma. Atheism often aligns with secular humanism, emphasizing ethics, human rights, and the importance of reason in human affairs. If we go in detail to explore about the history of atheism, we see in the books and in so many research papers and writings of scholars that the history of atheism is very complex and spans various cultures and epochs. Ancient civilizations had elements of atheistic thought, even within deep religious societies. Ancient and classical periods tell us that in ancient India, for example, certain schools of Hindu philosophy, such as Karvaka, espoused materialism and skepticism about the existence of gods. Similarly, in ancient Greece, philosophers like Democritus and Epicurus, they developed naturalistic explanations of the world, minimizing the role of gods in human affairs. And so far as the medieval period is concerned, during this period, atheism was often suppressed or punished severely in Europe and also in the Islamic world. Nevertheless, some thinkers began to question religious doctrines. In the Islamic Golden Age, for example, it is said that philosophers like Al-Razi expressed skepticism about religious beliefs. And if then coming to the modern period, which begins from Renaissance in the West, Renaissance began in the 16th century, and then 18th century marks the beginning of the Enlightenment period. The Renaissance brought a revival of classical learning and a questioning attitude towards traditional authority. I have, in many other write-ups and videos, especially in Urdu language, talked a great deal about this issue. So the many traditional authorities were questioned during the period of the Renaissance, including religious institutions. The Enlightenment in the 17th and the 18th centuries further catalyzed atheistic thought, with philosophers like David Hume, who says about causes and effects are discoverable not by reason but by experience. Denis Diderot, whose major work Encyclopedia is a monument of the French Enlightenment, representing the standard of scholarly knowledge of its time and the spirit of rationalism which pervaded 18th century thought, that's Enlightenment thought. Similarly, there are many other philosophers critiquing religion and advocating for a secular worldview based on reason and science during this period. When we come to 19th and 20th centuries, we see that the 19th century saw a more pronounced growth of atheism, influenced by works of Ludwig Feuerbach, who advocated atheism and anthropological materialism. Many of his philosophical writings offered a critical analysis of religion. His thought was influential in the development of historical materialism, where he is often recognized as a bridge between Hegel and Marx. Feuerbach argued that God was a human creation, while Marx viewed religion as an opiate of the masses. Nietzsche famously declared, "God is dead," reflecting the decline of religious belief in modern society. Similarly, in the 20th century, atheism gained more visibility, partly due to the rise of secular states and the influence of existentialist philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre, whose philosophy of existentialism is the actually the belief that we are responsible for creating purpose or meaning in our own lives. That is existentialism. That life doesn't have its intrinsic value. It's human beings who give it value, who decide its value. And similarly, Albert Camus. Philosophically, his views contribute to the rise of the philosophy known as absurdism, the spread of scientific knowledge, particularly through figures like Richard Dawkins in our times and Carl Sagan, further promoted atheistic perspectives. Then, if we consider the growth of atheism and atheistic tendencies in our modern society, in the contemporary society, the growth of atheism can be attributed to several factors. For example, to take scientific advancements, the progress of science has played a significant role in the rise of atheism. The theory of evolution, advancement in cosmology, and neuroscience have provided naturalistic explanations for phenomena traditionally attributed to divine intervention. We can also move to social and political changes that have taken place in our times. The separation of church and state, particularly in Western democracies, has created environments where atheism can flourish without fear of persecution. Previously, there used to be the institutions of inquisition that would even persecute and punish those who expressed their atheistic ideas. But now in our society, this is a liberal society, and this has promoted the growth of atheism, particularly in the West. So secular education is one more factor. Secular education systems, freedom of speech, have also contributed to the spread of atheistic ideas. Cultural shifts are also responsible. Modernity and globalization have fostered cultural exchanges and the dissemination of diverse worldviews. This exposure to different beliefs has led many to question religious doctrines and explore atheistic perspectives. No less role is being played by media and technology. There are good aspects of all these things, but yet again there are dark sides of these things. If we misuse these things, they can be misused for any ends. The internet and social media have provided platforms for atheists to connect, share ideas, and form communities. But as such, media outlets have provided platforms for extremists to promote their extremistic ideas, even their extremist interpretations of religious scriptures. That's there. Prominent atheists such as Christopher Hitchens, Sam Harris, these people are known to those persons who are in the field and who are debating with atheists. So they know these, who Christopher Hitchens is, who Richard Dawkins is, who Sam Harris is, and Daniel Dennett. They have used these platforms to reach wider audiences and challenge religious dogmas. We can also think about demographic trends as a potent factor in promoting atheistic ideas in our society. Studies have shown that younger generations are more likely to identify as atheists compared to older generations. This trend is particularly noticeable in highly developed countries, where secularization is more pronounced. Human rights and social justice, that can also lead to such tendencies. Although human rights and social justice is a very good point in our society, and and voices raised in favor of human rights and social justice are always welcome. But such things can be monopolized and misused and hijacks such good ideas for many people for their own motivated ends. Similarly, the idea of human rights and social justice have been exploited by atheists also. The alignment of atheism with human rights and social justice movements has also contributed to the growth of uh, atheism. Many atheists advocate for LGBTQ plus, for example. This they raise as a human rights issue, gender equality, and other progressive causes, positioning atheism as a modern and ethical worldview. So, in conclusion, well, I should be very brief here, lest this video goes on and extends to a longer period of time. So, concluding what I said, atheism as a lack of belief in deity, an all powerful deity, God, has evolved through history from ancient skepticism to a significant global phenomenon. Its growth is fueled by scientific advancements, social and political changes, cultural shifts, media and technology, the demographic trends, and its alignment with human rights and social justice. As society continues to evolve, atheism will likely remain a crucial part of the ongoing dialogue about belief, knowledge, and the nature of existence. As I said, I intend to make brief videos on the issue of atheism and faith, and I will also try my level best to share my humble experiences in this field to benefit my audience. Jazakumullah ta'ala, and thank you very much.